Good day, it's ActiveSteve here for Get Out There magazine. I'm in beautiful Perth for the Perth Kilt Run, where we're challenging the world record. It's a gorgeous day, it's going to be a great run. Stick around and look at all the beautiful kilts.
As this was a world record attempt, extra time was required for registration as everyone had to sign in. However, there was plenty of entertainment, such as jugglers, as well as some live music on site. There was also the world famous haggis toss, in which participants try to throw a haggis as far as they can. As well, there were Voyager canoe trips on offer for all participants.
How are things going to roll today? Are we going to get that world record? Tell us a bit about the race.
Absolutely, we're going to break it by far. We're going to blow it out of the water. Our previous record was around 1,100 and we've got over 2,000 people registered.
Conditions look absolutely perfect. Could you have asked for a better day?
Probably not. This is the best weather we've had yet. This is the third one that we've done, and the last 2 years it's been very, very hot and humid. Today it's just nice and sunny, so it should be perfect.
New and unique for this year's event was the warrior class, which is what I was racing in. In this competition, we had to carry a sword and shield and complete some obstacles, which you'll see in a bit. The basis of the Perth Kilt Run is an 8-kilometer road course around the beautiful town of Perth, and everyone in the race had to wear a kilt as part of the competition. The warrior class aspect of the race mixes things up by adding obstacles, the first one being a shot of scotch before running into the trails and tackling obstacles such as A-frames. From there, things got even more interesting, with participants having to use a bow and arrow and do a little bit of archery. As you can see, I had a little bit of trouble, but I got it out of the way. Numerous other obstacles awaited us, such as dragging a log around an obstacle course representing dragging a wounded soldier off the field, as well as throwing a spear at a target and hauling a log up a tree. Once we completed our 500-meter obstacle course, we joined in with the rest of the racers to complete the 8-kilometer course the exact same way they did. All along the course, there were some great aid stations put on by cheering crowds of locals, so there was never a lack of water even though it was a warm evening. Perth is a fairly small town, so there was a great sense of community throughout the entire event. And at the finish line, of course, there was bananas, oranges, cookies, and all kinds of food to eat on, as well as plenty of water to rehydrate competitors after their long run in the kilts. Along the racecourse, there was plenty of bagpipers and music players entertaining racers, and everybody who crossed the finish line had a smile on their face. Best part of the race? After the finish, there was free beer for each participant, and there's plenty of live music to keep the party atmosphere going.
I think the scotch was the hardest.
37 minutes and 49 seconds for Stefan Meyer.
My prize for winning was a very cool ski and do knife and a bottle of scotch, but there were also prizes for every single age in the form of a towel.